Welcome back to the adventure of the Great Deku Tree by LEGO. Legend of Zelda, set number 77092, contains 2,500 pieces, retails for $299.99, and this set was provided by the LEGO Group as a requested review. So thank you, LEGO. And what you're seeing here is bags 1 through 18. Now, I was unaware until I read the book, but this part here is actually done, the Deku Tree. And I'm going to be blunt with you on this set. It's a tough one. Building it is pretty easy. You just got to really pay attention to the building guide, and you got to get the digital thing. And remember, we had a problem with the nose and the upper jaw. That fell off. I've experienced some of these plant pieces falling off just by moving this around. And I think the 7 was somewhere in, the set was in a 7 range, just due to build quality. But it is a challenging build, so if you're looking for something very hard, well, here you go. It's not for the faint of heart. And today I think we're wrapping up with bags 19 and 20. It's been like a week since I've worked on this. I haven't really done much of anything. So the remainder of the build we're going to be focusing down here. So this up here is done. And yeah, my goals are with this is to take a week off from this, and then I'm going to rip the thing apart down to the bag 9 or 12, one of those. And then we're going to do the alternative build, and I will document everything for you. Okay, so that's my plan. All right, making sure I'm recording here, that there's at least a light on. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's begin. Let's build it. Let's start with bag 19. Now we're going to be focusing down here. We'll be building off to the side here, and I'll be swinging the camera around today. Okay, so let's get this brought down here for you, because right here is where I'm going to be working at today. And we're going to be building 2 of these trees here. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the detail of the build. It's just not really easy. Now, I'm not grading if it's easy or not, but if it's falling apart, yeah, I am. Okay. And thank goodness we only got to do 1 bag this time. Okay, so we got to build 2 of these. Can I slide this over anymore without things kind of falling off here? There we go. And yeah, now, do I need to zoom in on this? Let's see. I may have to. I noticed on one of my other videos, I was cutting some of the build off when we were putting the limbs on, and my apologies. Like I said, sometimes I'll get wrapped up into a build and I can't tell. I have a glare on the little viewfinder thing, and it kind of gets to be a challenge to see. All right. So yeah, let's get on it here. I have been so busy doing tutorials. As a matter of fact, I got like 3 tutorials since the last time we met. I only have 3 tutorials left for the year. So now I'm getting to the hard stuff. So now, well, more challenging builds. And yeah, that's always a fun thing to do here, is to make things more challenging. That's, you know, on my main channel. If you're on this channel here, you probably, if you're just watching this channel, I do have a main channel that I illustrate a lot of this stuff. And today is April 14th, 2025. So we're getting close to Easter, so happy early Easter. I noticed in one of my other videos I forgot to give the shout-outs, so I had to put that in there. I have a way now to put shout-outs in tutorials. I've been tinkering with it. So I will also do that on the main channel as well. So once I can perfect the perfect way, I'll start doing that more. Okay, so just, whoops, we don't put that there. Oh yeah, the set does come with the Brick Separator, so if you're just wondering about that, I just didn't get it bring it over here, you know. So I've been really busy with stuff around the house, doing building guides, all sorts of stuff. So if you're looking for something to do this summer, yeah, I'll have plenty of items for you. I had one person say, where's the big tutorials? You just have to be patient. They're coming. They're just not coming now. Now, can you still see? Yes, you can. But I mean, I'm pretty pleased with this set. It's just, it's not an easy one to put together by any means. And this is a set I probably would do more when it's hot outside or maybe in the winter. But I'm on a deadline. I got to have all this done by the end of the month. So we're only halfway there, and I'm almost done with this. Now, I'm most likely going to tack the tour and review on the back of this video here. So this should be the last installment, but the main channel will have the condensed version, which means the build will be left out. That kind of thing. So that's what I'm planning on doing here. Okay, that does go like that. Yeah, so it's been getting hot here in the 90s. One day it was starting to approach 100. Had me a little worried. Yeah, summer's here. Well, it's getting here anyways. And, oh, we need to discuss this real quick. Other than the set being, it's cool, it's just hard. If you're planning on buying parts, like through Pick-a-Brick, especially if you're here in the States, try to buy the best, or try to buy the standard parts, not the best sellers. Good old tariffs are on those. Don't ask me why, and I'm not trying to make this political or anything, but I was looking at that. And I wasn't buying any parts. I was starting to put together a parts list for a build, and I thought, what? Why is there two different price variances for parts? I was doing the same piece, one with that was bestseller and one that was not, and I thought, wouldn't the best sellers be cheaper? And the bestseller category I rarely ever buy from anyways. So I don't know, looks like somebody's digging a hole and it ain't Lego. So I can't blame Lego for that one. Although I would anyways. Enough about that. Just hobbies just okay, that's disintegrating. Well, that fell off and that went over there. Okay, well that's not how that's supposed to go. Yeah, and with this set, I've noticed a lot of pieces are starting to flake off. So if you're if you're like me, you're fighting a cold, like my hay fever's been acting up, and my hands are kind of achy today. This is not the set to put together. I'm being honest here. Yeah, if your hands are like mine and they're just achy, yeah. Not user-friendly. So these are like tree trunks, it looks like. Okay, so that's what yours should look like so far. And I forgot to put the log piece on there. Let's find those. I can always use these for campgrounds. Yeah, we're still talking about that camping trip, and I'm like, oh, can't wait for that. Oh yeah, I still remember that one comment that I got, that somebody said, can you please stop talking about your vacations? I don't want to hear, I just want to hear Lego. Yeah, well, sorry, but that's what I'm going to do. And plus, everybody wants to hear stories. I was playing around with time lapse on my iPhone. I'm going to see how that works. I'm not doing time lapse on these, so don't think I'm going to do that. Can't spoil you too much here. Does it matter? Is it really critical or no? I don't think it matters. Yeah, I was on Amazon today trying to buy some stuff, and I got the sticker shock, and I thought, oh, never mind, I don't need the stuff that bad. And okay, I'll be there in a second. Hold on, let me get these branches on. Yes, I have to step away here. Life never ends, doesn't it? Well, eventually, but not today. Sorry, I'm trying not to cut the camera off for you here. I was looking at external monitors for this. I have regular computer monitors that will work, but these are big. I was just looking for something like, it's like maybe a 10-inch that I can just attach here to the tripod. So I was looking at clamps to put on my tripod to clamp a light down here, so I don't have to use the ring light that's not so powerful. I could put the floodlight down there, and I could put an external monitor and just clamp them to the tripod neck. Yeah, I was looking at that, and boy, the tariff prices on those were just atrocious. I said, no, I'll think of something. So I'll just bring an old computer monitor back here, or a TV, and just set it over here on the counter just to glance at it. But I want to be able to glance at it pretty easily. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, where do we leave off now? Alright, so bird eggs. So we're going to be putting bird eggs in there. Cool. Alrighty. And so we got a bunch of birds' nest in here. Anybody ever watch that live stream of the eagles down over there in Big Bear Lake? I'm not sponsored or endorsing it, by the way, but Jackie and Shadow, their eaglets are sure growing up pretty big. You've been keeping tabs on that camera. It's just kind of cool. Imagine back when I was a kid, we only saw those pictures in books and on, what was that channel that they have, the Discovery Channel, which doesn't even have anything on it anymore, or the History Channel, one of those. And now it's just kind of cool, though. We can do that. And then now we got to put these in here. And you know what might be easier? I got to be very careful here. One of these goes here. Well, right there. And it looks like it's right on the seam with the big slope facing outwards. Does it really matter? No, this thing here broke off a few times, so this is in the wrong way. I kept bumping into that, and that just kept falling off. Put it back in there. I don't know where that's supposed to go. Probably right here. Yeah, I've been noticing now some of these parts are just getting whacked off too easily. And it looks like it goes right here. Does it really matter about the placement? I don't think it's too critical. Yeah, that's exactly where it goes. So it's, I can show you here. Like it's 8 studs from right there. Right here. Okay, so I think that is it. If you're really picky about it, and I know I get like that too. And then the other one goes over here, back here. Boy, I'm going to have to readjust the camera or just do it like this. I don't have this on a turntable right now. I'm trying to keep the table here kind of uncluttered as much as I can. And they show the big slope facing this way. So this, make sure it's like that. And then this here sits right on that line. Okay, a lot of the stuff's starting to get wiggly. And I know my hands are in the way right now. I'm just seeing where this goes here. I don't think it really matters. Yeah, I think it just goes there. But they show that hanging over, which it is. I guess that's fine. But man, those are not really in there that well. And yeah, so hopefully you can see that. That's about the best I can do there. And now we have to assemble some limbs. We got to make 2 of these. All right. Yeah, it's at least we're doing, you know, this stuff's pretty small. So here's the deal. If you're not into small pieces like this, don't get this. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, if you want a challenge and you want to be busy for a while, get this. All right, so when I do the review, that's what I'm going to say. It's a challenging build. It's hard. If you follow the directions and take your time, it's not that bad. But if you're like me and you're impatient, it's going to be a challenge. At least I'm not lying to you. Yeah, but my allergies have been flaring up. My hands are achy. I'm fatigued out. And then in addition, working 10 to 12 hours. Yeah, that doesn't make it all a fun day. Okay, we got to make 6 of these. I got to make 12. So they're like that. So I'm just going to produce them now. I'll tell you one thing though, I like building my own stuff because sometimes it's a challenge for me, you know, because to think things out. And a buddy of mine and I are working on a tutorial right now. I'm doing the tutorial. He already had a rough draft of a build. He's like, can you help me with this, make it better? I'm like, sure. We're still kind of tinkering on the project. I said, when I'm done, I will do the tutorial and I'll mention your name in the video. I'm trying to think of how I want to do that though. So it is possible that we could do collaborations with tutorials too. Okay, fine. So I'm just trying to think of how to make it to where, you know, I could do this. Back in the old days, I used to do that. And then now, not so much. But I think it's just better if everybody pitches in and everybody can say, hey, I helped Jay build that tutorial. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm hoping that if I can get this perfected in such a way, I'd like to have that. There was another YouTuber that wanted to collaborate with me on builds. But every time I said sure, I'd never hear from him. Then 6 months later, would you like to collaborate? Yes, let's do it. Crickets. And that's all I would hear. And I thought, well, he must not be that serious. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I messed up here. Forgot to put another stem on here. Whoopsie, my bad. So now if I have somebody who says, hey Jay, you want to collab? I kind of just like, yeah, right. Let me get that. I don't know where that rolled off to. Speaking of, okay, well, I found the brick separator. Speaking of that, I have been tripping over lots of parts here. And that's in addition, I haven't had time to take apart any of these old sets. So this thing here has been taking up my time. The one thing that's been taking up a lot of my time is family chores. It's just, it's getting more and more intense around here. And especially when I have somebody who doesn't want to lift a finger, it makes it just as tough. And of course I always hear the saying, and yeah, there's going to be a rant here on that, but oh, I don't want his hands to get dirty. Well, yeah, make sure your leaf is facing that with these right here. You won't be able to get these on. And I'm just like, man, if you guys had helped me out around here, I wouldn't be stuck doing work all the time. I wouldn't be so exhausted. Okay. But I'll go figure there. I hate doing chores, but I have to. Some chores are fun, but some of them I have to do. And yeah. Just put those on there very carefully, and that's what you're supposed to look like. But I'm going to do it like that. The book doesn't show them like that, but it looks more rugged. So this one here, it needs to be like that. Yeah, I'm not feeling very well, and my hands are sore, and I'm putting together little leaf pieces, and I'm surviving. So yeah, if I could do this, not feeling very well, I know you could do it. Just take your time. But yeah, I'm hoping today I want to get this set filmed and get it out of here. I got a poly bag I'd like to do, I found, so I'm going to do that one. And there we go. Okay. Let's see. We've still got a lot of parts left here. Alright. And these go on the jumper plate. So here we are again back onto this. So these go right here. I'll move my hand out of the way and I'll show you here in a second. I had one guy says, why don't I work behind the camera like I do my tutorials? Yeah, I can't. Oh, see, these trees are coming off. Lego, I'm going to have to fail this just because of the build quality is just horrific on it. This is just a set that needs to be, that's just for admire. You can only admire this one. And it goes, I can't, right there. Right there. That's where this one goes here. I'm sorry if you can't see it all the way. Like I said, if I'm messing with the camera full time, I don't have a cameraman. Oh, and guys, for the person who asked me, why don't I hire a cameraman? If you're willing to fund the cameraman, yeah, I'll do it. I have a friend that's into media, but he doesn't work cheap. And that's it for that part there. So we got the limbs done, and that's it. Okay, you think we're done yet? We got another creepy bare tree here, so let's get going on that one now. And yeah, looks like it was built almost the same as the last one here. Let me get situated here. That's what I like about building my own stuff. It's smaller. I don't have to mess with the big stuff too much. At least we only have to build one of these, by the way. And that's all it's holding these trees on is that. So I'm going to say that it is playable, but it's also very fragile too. Let's just stick this in here while we're here. I'm going out of order on the steps, but that's my blame there. Yeah. I'm trying to just get some stuff done. I got a camper I still would like to work on. Right now I just finished up a building guide. It's ready to go more or less. And I'm still recording good. How much time do we have here? An hour and 24 minutes. Okay. Well, I haven't been recording that long. It's just that's the remaining time on this little booger here. Okay, this goes at the bottom. I was going to get a haircut this week, and it dawned on me. Everybody's off. And I went in there, my guy was booked. He had one appointment for the evening, and I thought, I am not gonna go into town. This is no. Okay, another log piece right there. Okay, and now we rotate it around. But in order to survive sets this big, guys and gals, just take your time. That's the only advice I can give you, is take your time. I'm not going to tell you how to put it together. That's up to you. But take your time, put it together very slowly. And we got an acorn that goes on the top. That's a funny place to put it. And then this here, I don't know how critical this is. Goes right here. And then now we put the limbs on the tree. So this bag here is taking a long time. And do you think this one's bad? Wait till we get to the next one. You're going to love that one. I already read ahead, so I already know what to expect here. You know, it looks like we have enough to make another one of these, but yeah, they got acorns on the top of that. Yeah, okay. And this one here goes right here. And at least I can see that where that goes. I think, well, it goes back one notch. Alright. Boy, that, you really got to suck that down in there, huh? Make sure these are really pressed down firm. You notice how I'm pushing right here. I'm grabbing it and just kind of pushing it straight down. And yeah. We got another bear tree to make. Alright, so this is probably tree 3, or I don't know what I would, probably bear tree 3, I don't know. Yeah, my friend and I, we already have a place that we're going to camp at. And as long as it had bathrooms, which this place does. I was looking at some other places to camp. And there's a lot of places that I find. A lot of them are state parks. They don't have the bathrooms. They have vault toilets. You know, those outhouse things that we all kind of just fear going into. Except if you're a guy, it's not too bad. Yeah. Yeah, that's like, well, I don't know. But camping now is starting to become more of a luxury too. Yep, that hangs over. I had to look at it twice. I didn't want to make a mistake here. And like right now, I'm just thirsty. I think bad about allergies though. It's just, for me, it just makes everything really bad. And had my blood pressure taken a few days ago, and it was really high. I don't know why. But of course, I was having an asthma attack earlier that day too. I think maybe about an hour before that. So I was like, oh, if it doesn't slow down, I'm going to have to go see the doctor, and I'm not in the mood to do that. It's just the waiting I hate dealing with. That could just get right in from when I pull up into the parking lot. I'd be fine. I wouldn't care. That's why a lot of people don't like going to the doctors. It's just the waiting game. And then now this goes like that. I don't think it's critical, but... And then we got to put the limbs on the thing here. We're almost done. We don't have a lot of parts left. It's like one of each, so... one of each. Yeah, I was hoping not to keep these installments long on some of these, but it's hard to, you know... Or, of course, I could have just done one bag a day and it would have been fine, but I don't want to just do a build for 20 minutes. And then that tree goes on the other side over here. So let's just jump to it real quick here. This is the pieces we have remaining right here, so that's not too bad. Usually it's typical there. And I thought I had a container up here. I'll just set them over there. Alright. Ooh, we don't want that breaking. And then this one here goes right in this area here. Okay, like that? So I don't think that sits in the water. I think it sits right here. I mean, it fits right there, doesn't it? I mean, it's the only place I can put it. It doesn't really... If you have the 3D app, it might be a better deal for you. Okay, so... I mean, there might be some things on this that I'm doing incorrectly, but, you know, let's say you don't have access to an iPad. That's what it is. Don't let the size fool you. We got 20 here, and yeah, we got to make 8 of those little boogers. Now, we always talk about the game operation, where if you touch the sides, it'll go eh. That's basically how it is when you're building trees. And if you watch my tree tutorials, you know they can be pretty tedious, especially when you're building the tutorials. When you watch them, it's not too bad. So what I'm planning on doing, we got to make 8 of these, so let's start assembling them now. I'll assemble one here for you, and then we'll start breezing through it here. I think the easiest way to do this here is what I did with the pink leaves in the last installment. We're just going to go ahead and start making 8 of these right now. And just to speed it up a bit more, let's start sorting out parts until I can find this piece here. So if I can't find it, I'll keep grabbing until I do, you know. All right, I don't like putting things over there. All right, let's put these here. You probably, oh yeah, you could see. So I'm just sorting things out until I find that leaf piece. Okay, so these are kind of cool to have. I don't really use any of these type of leaf pieces, as I mostly do forest stuff, but yeah, I read some of your comments on these videos. You don't like the colors too much. Yeah, the colors are not really appealing on this one here. But they had to match a video game theme, so, you know, it's understandable. I wonder if this is the only thing we're building in this bag. I mean, obviously we got tons of leaf parts here. Okay, I got another one of those, so we're finding those here. Trying to get some of these done here. Because what I'm going to do after this, after I get done building this here, I'd like to get on to that camper project. LEGO's been known to send out sets towards the middle of the year, so they send me something and I accept, which most likely I will, you know, then I will be busy. Oh, but one of the tutorials I managed to redo. Remember that white dually pickup truck that I built years ago? If you watch that tutorial, you know how slow it was? Yeah, I apologize. It was 32 minutes of grueling slowness of building there. And, you know, that was back then when I was learning still how to do tutorials, if I really got efficient on things. So now, I don't know what the actual new tutorial length is going to be, but I know for a fact it's not going to be 32 minutes. And there's a little more commentary, not where it was. Those are just too heavily scripted for me, so now I don't even do that anymore. A lot of the newer stuff in the last few years, I kind of just got more informal with. And yeah, although people prefer the scripted ones, but I had one person ask me, I need to be more bubbly in my tours and stuff. Oh, I mean, really, yeah. I don't want to get to that whole, I sound like a valley boy. And there's enough of that going around here as it is. Okay, we just finished up step 347. 348 is stick them on the other 3. We got to take a bunch of these now. And does it matter which hole those go in, or they just hang over? Looks like they just go right here. I'm assuming that these are going to go in these holes. So now I need to find, and I guarantee they probably go in all these bare trees here. We got to make 8 of these. So like that. And yes, while we're here, I'm going to do 48 and 49. Just to speed it up to prevent that. So if you're not into building trees, or your hands are achy, you may want to take a break for the day. Putting these in here is going to be a chore. Like that, it goes in the hole. You want to make sure it goes through both of these here. Now these will not fall off. So I got to do this booger 8 times, right? Yeah, and I can't even get that one in there. Okay, and then we got this one here. Yeah, I do sound very tired. When do I get a break? We're doing it in May. Right now I got another month. Unless something comes up. Yeah, so too bad they didn't put anything in these green ones, but I can see why they didn't. Okay, well, we got that out of the way. I got to do another one of those, so set that there. Now, I'm thinking it'd be easier if we come in here and prepare these first, like this. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying that is, you saw how I was struggling with that. What if I just do them like this? Let's try it this way. Okay, so that's how they told me, but no, they didn't. Would this make it a lot easier to set these in here? Then I could shove the shaft in like that and just push it down in there. There we go. That's a lot better, huh? Let's try it again here. Make sure it wasn't seeing things wrong. No, that's easier. So they should hire me to do their revisions. But look how loose that is there. My goodness. And put that right in there. So that way's a little easier. So let's start doing a bunch of these right now. So what my goal is today is to finish this setup real quick, get it done before dinner, okay, and get it out of the way. Let's just do a bunch of these. I got to do 6 more groups. I already got 1 group done there. If you're building some plants to put in your house, yeah, this would take you a long time. It'd be cheaper to go out into the store and just buy. Well, no, it won't. Never mind, scratch that. That gives me 2. Well, if I can pick them up, I'm picking up like a couple of them at once. Matter of fact, I'm just going to set the completed ones right here. Okay, that gives me that. Put that one there. Alright, well, at least we're getting there. It's going to be a while, though. I like doing... I know some people told me that they love the foliage. It does add a pop of color to your city or whatever you're building. Unless you're into space, and yeah, it won't do too much, but... Okay, we got 4 of these. Okay, let's do 1 of these right now and get it out of the way, because I'm cluttering up my workbench here. I don't know, I just like putting together leaf parts. They're cool. When I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of trees. We had the pre-molded trees. You know, the ones that look like a little spruce tree and stuff. They were already made for you. You didn't put the limbs or anything on it. And now it's like you can make your trees as big as your imagination will let you. Okay, I got that out of the way, so that takes care of 4 of the, or 3 of them now. Let's do another preparation here. Yeah. I have obtained another air condition unit. My neighbor was given to me. He said he couldn't get it to work. It always blows hot air. And I looked on the back of this thing, and it was one of those ones you'd see in a hotel. And the fins on the back were all mashed down. So I thought, okay, he just said he didn't want it. And it's a big model. You won't be able to fit this in your window. It's meant to go into the window like what you'd see in a hotel. And so we wheeled it over here to my house. He just says if you get it working, you can keep it. Like, okay, well, yeah, I'm not going to toss it. It would barely blow cold air. So, okay, fine. So I ended up going and getting me a fin straightener for the condenser coils to straighten out the fins. I combed that out, got them straightened out, and used a putty knife, plastic putty knife. And yeah, I got it working. More or less, it blows icy cold, so I had it in the shop. And what am I going to do with it? I don't know. Because I kind of set it underneath the roll-up door and just closed the door down on it. And yeah, it was cooling down the shop real quickly. And I thought, well, all I need to do now is find a place for it. So I just have it wrapped up right now. It needed to be cleaned. The filter in there is bad. It's just disintegrating, so I need to get another one for it. But it's new enough where it takes the, I think it's R134 refrigerant. So it's fairly new to me anyways. And I thought, well, I don't mind having extra AC units around the house. Out here in the desert, it's considered it's a life-saving device. You need it. It's a necessity out here. So I thought I'm just gonna do that. And yeah, so it was a nice little thing to have there. And oh yeah, okay. They're not going to wait, so let me get this on here. And I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I got 6 of these done here. I got to do 2 more. Sorry, I have to get up and leave sometimes. So I'm not a fan of throwing things away. I'm kind of, I get kind of frugal on some stuff. Well, you have to now, especially in today's economy. You do. I was looking for a way to attach a light to this tripod, and okay, I got a floodlight. Can I put it below the camera so you get a better light down here? And because I just have the ring light kind of lassoed around the lens of the camera. And I'm going to have to make my own bracket because this place wanted to charge me over $30 for tariffs and shipping, and I said, oh no, I don't need a piece that bad. It was a clamp that goes on the tripod, so I can just clamp the light on there. No, I'll just make my own. So now I'm going back to those days again where it's expensive, so I'll just make my own stuff, And yeah. Okay, so every tree in here we just built gets limbs. Not all of them, but just some of them. I don't think it really matters which way these go. There's 4 trees, there's 8 of these, so each tree gets 2. I'm going to slide these off to the side here. And so the first one right here. Now let's see here. Can we dial this in for you a bit better here? Because now we're getting up to the point here where I need to do that. Alright. And okay, I made a mistake on this one here. So I need to pop that off. Now they're impossible to get off. Whoopsie. And that hole right there is where we're going to attach them at, and they go on here. Now, you got to be careful with these. Of course, it'd probably be easier if I just take the tree off like that. And another one here, but it looks like it doesn't really show. Oh, you know what? Oh, fine. Too much stuff up here. I noticed these are facing inwards, like this. So, like that. Whew. That's one done. I got 3 more to go. Alright. And this one here is the same way. They have these right here. That right there is facing inwards. So I'm just going to hold on to it like that and just kind of hold my breath, not mess it up. We got to keep the acorn all shaded right. This is a nice idea for trees. I don't like the trunks too much of these, but these leaf assemblies, these are really nice. I like them. You can see where that's going right there. And you're making sure I'm going to push those all the way in. I don't want those falling off, too. Okay, now we got to do that one there. Let's see here. And looks like these are on the sides now, so they're right here. How critical, I don't know. It feels like I'm playing that game Operation again. Okay, I'm going to have to cover up the camera. I'm sorry. I got to get that on there. There we go. All right. Usually these last ones, see that? Let's do it like that there. Yeah, with very jittery hands today, this is not too user-friendly here. Imagine if you have arthritis in your hands. Yeah, I would be very slow with this one. Alright, something's not turning there. There we go. Plus, I don't want it to be too uniformed. I mean, there's a lot of shade on those for what they are. And then we got this last one here. And they did the same thing here. It's these. Alright. So it's they go on pretty much the same way, and that's what I'm gathering. So just that hole there. And then... Can we get that off? Because I feel like that thing's about to break. That thing's been kind of a nuisance. You got to keep the eggs shaded. You could make a nice forest or a park with these. These would be good for like lining streets of your city. Just clean up the trunks a little bit. There you go. Okay. Okay, and then now after that, we take the 8 remaining pieces and we fill in the rest of them. Okay. Hopefully there's 8 of them, and there indeed is, so I can't lie to you because you'll know. So, which way do they go? Do they go inwards or outwards here? Okay, they just go wherever you want to put them, I guess. Like this one's next to this right here. Obviously, you're not going to have that one straight down, so I'm just going to hold underneath here and just pull the tree up with us. Well, I'm going to say this set's probably going to get a 6.5 at the best, just because things are just tacked in here. I mean, this is a nice tree. It's a nice set. It's just we're at that part where, boy, that just doesn't want to sit in there, but it is level. Oh, get out of my way. So I'm going to say that if you're building this, this is not for the faint of heart. If you're looking for an easy build, no. This is not it. If you're very impatient, yeah, this is not a set that I would recommend. I know Lego watches these, and I'd say this is more for expert builders. This is not a This one's kind of cramped. There we go. I will fluff up the leaves here in a bit. We're almost done though. This is it. This is it. We're almost done here. We're getting there. And let me kind of fluff these up before we get to that last one over there. Okay, just trying to give it a little bit more shade. That one's pretty good. We got to do that one there. So if you're looking for an easy build, no. I thought, oh, 2,500 pieces. That's a lot of parts. See, these things are just wanting to detach from the base here. Alrighty, there we go. And that's it, with no pieces remaining. Okay, let's see if there's anything else in here. Now the book is telling us we got to take it apart to build this guy. Okay, so what I'm gathering is that we'll do that later. Okay, we're not going to do that now. And when I get to that point, I will document how we take it all apart. I don't know yet. I'm sure most of the stuff you just peel off. Okay, and we'll have to strip it back down to with the completion of step 12. All right, so summation of thoughts for just this segment while we're setting up. It's a challenging build. It's not easy by any means. If you're looking for something quick, this is not it. And I'm going to have to readjust the camera because we don't want to look at the tree's bald spot. I think that might be fine, but I can't go any lower. It's huge. I'm not going to lie. It's a very nice build. It'd be nicer if I had a little bit more space back here, or had wheels on this tripod would be better. What am I tripping over? Computer stuff right now, which reminds me, I got to take the front part to that computer and put that in the shop. I'm taking the old machine and I'm fixing it up. There's some bits and pieces that broke off through the years that I'm putting back on. So get that all going. Won't be too bad. So my goal right now with this set is to put it there. I need to put it on a turntable. I forgot that. Is I'm going to tack the tour and everything on the back of this on this video here. Boy, that leg's got a lot of stress on it there. Let's do that. I'll straighten it up later. Ooh, now this is going to be very tricky. How am I going to do this? Can I just muscle that on there without dropping it? There we go. I think what we're going to do here, I'm going to, and just in order, I'm going to film the review first. I'm going to do the tour, the close-up, and we'll do minifigures last. That's not how you're going to see it in the video. That's how I'm going to film it, because trying to film this thing in one sitting like that's going to be a pain. And trying to get that right in the center, so when I come in here and rotate it, I want to rotate it. Okay, I want to rotate this thing in such a way that I'm not messing with bumping into things. I think that looks good. I like this camera. The one thing I like about it's got the cross in the middle, so I can actually keep things lined up. The other one I had to guess. And I think we're good there. Right in the middle. Okay, even says it's level 2. Okay, so my goal here, put Zelda here. Just going to start decorating now. Be nice if we got some enemies with this, but everybody's friendly here. Oh no, we got the Master Sword stuck in the stone. The tour on this one's going to be very easy, really, to be honest. It's big, but I will be doing a close-up on this one here, just to be safe. And let's put her right here. And I hope she doesn't fall off. And we got the extra million links. There's another link that I'm missing. I don't know what happened to him. Did I already lose him already? Whoops. Somewhere around here. I hope I didn't toss him somewhere. Or is he hiding somewhere in the trees? I don't know where he went. The box of supplies. I'm not going to do a close-up on that. I may put the supplies with, I think this is Link's house. So I may put them with that. Now, I don't know what happened to the other. Oh, I see. He's taken a swim in the lake or the pond or the moat. And then we'll just put him with this here. Okay. Hey, at least one thing though. I keep it real, folks. I just like keeping it real. He's playing his little instrument there. And then yeah, I haven't played this game in so long, somebody's probably laughing, going, you don't know the characters' names or what they have? Last time I really sat down and played Legend of Zelda was Legend of Zelda 2. And yeah, that was it. I've never really played any of the new ones since I don't even own a Switch. Now they're coming out with the Switch 2, which is cool, but you know, don't get me started on the price of that. And we got the young Link here. And that's essentially what it is. It doesn't have a lot of stuff. But just by taking a look at this here in general, I mean, and there's one thing I got to note too, that these come off for hidden secrets. So what I'll do when I do the tour, I'll just pop those off. So I got to remember that. This functions here. And yeah, this is pretty cool here. That's all it does. Okay. But all in all, though, I'm going to be honest with you. It's a big build. Very big. It's big. It's, you know, it's playable, obviously. Well, something fell off. Alright, what fell off here that I'm going to have to replace? Oh, the stupid sign that's fallen off. So I'm going to say that set's more just an admire. You can only admire this set, nothing more. It is playable. But it honestly, it's more of just, you're going to be playing out here. You're not going to be playing in the back. So I'm going to say yeah. And I think that's what we're going to do. So now, without further ado, let's do the formal tour. First we have young Link. I like the print work for his shield as well as his torso. Here's the back side, and I believe that he has a double-sided head. I think they all do. So, and this time I did remember to turn on the, well, turn off the autofocus so it doesn't go all weird on us here. And then we have Big Link with this musical instrument, and every time I try to pronounce that name, I always mess up. Well, whoopsie. Oh, I'm Mr. Butterfingers today. I believe he's got a double-sided head too. Oh yeah, he's mad because I dropped him. Oh wow, I'm sorry. There we go. I mean, nice figure. And then we have another version of Link. I like that shield, it's really cool. The print work for the torso. Here's the back, and let's see here. Yep, still angry as usual. Not too bad. No, I guess Zelda is a legend because she failed. And nice figure. Look at the print work on that's really nice. Nice and metallic too. Nice and shiny. And let's see here. Yep. She's angry too. She's like, whatever, you dropped me. I'm sorry. That's just how life is sometimes. But honestly, though, I'm really pleased with the minifigures of this set. They're just cool nonetheless. Let's squeeze young Link back there. He's out of focus, but hey, well, everybody wants to take a nap, so here we'll do this, because we got a long trip to the Great Deku Tree. Here we are at the Great Deku Tree, all assembled, and yeah, it's a really nice, colorful, detailed build. But building it was a challenge. I'll get to that in the review. So we do have our 4 minifigures, as you saw in the previous clips. I just have them displayed here, and in addition, you do get a brick separator with this build. Here we have, I believe, is Link's house. We do have some accessories, and of course, the Great Deku Tree. And this thing's really cool. I mean, look at all the detail here. And don't worry, we'll really do a close-up detail tour of this in a bit. And let me pull this forward here for you. And we're going to take a rotation tour of this here. And yeah, that's the back. Not really glamorous, but you do have an area in here you can play with and stuff like that. So you got a little area down here with some sort of bed and all this other stuff. I haven't played the game in forever, so I don't know. And these little side compartments here do come off, so I can pop these off here for you. They're meant to just detach. Be a little bit of a challenge. So you got some hidden rooms in here. And the reason why I'm taking them off now is I'll forget when I do the close-ups, so pop that off there. And they're just simple construction. Got some other hidden things in there. And yeah, just for somebody who last time played this game was probably 25 years ago, you know, I mean, this is like a dream come true. I mean, look at all the detail packed into this. There's just lots of things to look at. Well, let's take a closer look. Here we have Link. We got Zelda in the background. I do like this Master Sword. At least I know what that is. And that just comes right out. Pretty cool. Look at all the detail that's used throughout this. This is really nice. Look at the trees, the mushrooms, the brick separator. Now, a lot of people want to know if there's a brick separator with the set. Yes, this one does come with that. Also got our little accessories. We got Adult Link there, and it's all sorts of stuff in there. We got a shield. Take a look at that. That's if I'm holding it up correctly. And all sorts of items and potions and stuff like that. Oh, you want to take a nap? Well, there you go. I got some kind of totem. I guess it's used for like depositing seeds in or something. That's what I was reading in the description. So this does pop off if you want to remove that. I'd rather just keep it in here just so I don't lose it. Look at all the greenery used throughout this. My goodness, this has got a lot of detail. There's the face. We saw that lever in the back, so that's what he does. Looks angry and he looks happy, but the mouth doesn't stay closed. It kind of springs back open a little bit. I don't know if I did something wrong with the build, but... And then here we have Link's house. I believe that's what that is. And that just detaches from the main build. This piece here does separate pretty easily, so we can move this out of the way to see inside there. Let's see if I can get that out of the way. I don't want to drop anything and cry over the stuff breaking apart. Now, this set you have to be careful with. Some things will fall off or fall over, depends on how you look at it. And yeah, and here's inside of Link's house. Not really a whole lot going on in there. Got a little bed, but be careful, you may roll off on the wrong side. Not really much to play with that. Look at all the beats and stuff that's used in here. And there's a close-up one of those hidden rooms. This one's got a spell book in there. It's a nice place to hide that. And these covers go right back on. Just slide right back in place. Except it's hard to do it with one hand. There we go. Not the most user-friendly way of putting that on there, but And here's the back. We got this little area up here, an apple and all sorts of stuff. That's another play area that you can explore. There's that lever. You think that this thing here would, sure you can wedge something in there, but more or less it works. There's inside the little area. This is a nice place. I mean, it's got roots hanging from inside. If you're looking for something with a lot of greenery, here you go. A little cauldron. Yeah, this is nice, bright, and colorful in there. Here's this other side here with, looks like some gems of some sort. Like I said, I haven't played the game in a while. Now, can I put this on over here? And yeah, there we go. Now the base of these trees can detach, so just be very careful, especially when you're assembling the set. And for the most part though, it's not a bad build. As you can see, there's just lots of detail with this. Now honestly, for me, this looks like a creepy old tree. Reminds me of that Groot set, you know, and who are you calling creepy? That's probably what he'd say if he would talk. But nonetheless though, if you're in for a challenging build, this one will fit the bill here. I mean, it's challenging. You know, especially when, you know, you could bump into something and things will fall off. You know, and yeah. But how challenging? Here are my thoughts. Starting my review with build quality, and honestly the set is fair to average construction. I did have a few pieces fall off here and there. These trees do fall off. They just detach from the base, like this one here, or this one could just fall off. I've had them fall over a few times. Also assembling the set, I had a problem with the face. This was a pain. I had to rebuild it and put it back on there in a different way than Lego told me how to do it, but I managed to do it. Upper jaw will sometimes fall off. The sign on here, this will fall off. And some of these greenery pieces on the base will fall off. I didn't have really anything fall off on the tree. But you gotta really pay attention to the instructions, as I was struggling through parts of this build. So I do advise that you download the digital building guide so you can use the 3D spin along with the paper manual. That's the only way to survive through this one. This is a challenge, okay, which leads to build experience. Honestly, this is a fun set to put together, but it's very challenging. Now, the set's recommended ages is 18 and up. I'm a full-grown guy, and I had a hard time putting some of this stuff together. And if you're not paying attention, you can easily mess up on the Great Deku Tree. I know I've done that several times. If you watch the build installments, you know. Lots of mistakes were made, but I corrected them. And in correcting the mistakes in this were not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. So I'm being honest there. If you're looking for a difficult, challenging build, this is it. This is a really nice set for that. It had a little bit of everything, small, medium to large pieces. You know, so, you know, it's got a little everything for every skill set. But this is not recommended to be built by children. It's just not targeted for that. This is meant to be constructed by mature Lego builders who have a high tolerance for small to medium pieces. There's some large pieces in there, but a lot of this stuff, like I said, could flake off. There is some play value with this set, but a lot of people are going to be playing with out here. I like the fact that we have this sword, and you got 4 minifigures, you got Link's house, all sorts of stuff, in addition to access into the back and the movable jaw. But honestly, for me, the way this is constructed, this is meant to be a piece to be admired. It's something you could set on your shelf or your end table just to admire. This is not really meant to be played with. But you can play with this. It's just not portable enough to pick up unless you got it on something like this. Now, if you're constructing the set or even playing with it, put it on a turntable like this. because it's easy to rotate around unless you're limited on space like I am. But you can easily just rotate around and play with it. You don't have to pick this thing up. Now remember, in the build installments, this piece here comes off. So personally, when you pick this up, pick it up in sections, but don't pick it up by the tree. Just pick it up, scoop it up from the bottom. So yeah, it's pretty big and clunky. Now it might be possible to put this in a Lego City theme, but the back's not finished, so you'll have to finish that up. But the front looks pretty good, so you can always have this side face the wall, and you can expand on this. And you can add more terrain to this if you choose. Is it meant to be dropped in a city? Not really. So if you have a Legend of Zelda theme, I'm sure this will work really well with it. In addition, the set does provide a lot of pieces. You can use the pieces to make the alternative build, which I'll probably get to that on the second channel at a later date. Or you can use these pieces to make other creations. And there's a lot of stuff in here to make a forest, at least a part of one. And all these other parts that you could use, like the sand yellow, you could use for maybe damp soil. I use this stuff for my campground, so that'd be cool. And the leaf pieces and such. So there's lots of pieces in here if you're willing to part this set for another build. Now for me, this is just fun to look at. So it's a nice eye candy piece just to stare at and admire. Now the set does retail for $299.99, and I'm going to emphasize again that LEGO did send this to me as a requested review. And it does seem a bit on the pricier side of a set like this. It's not really playable and portable, but look at all the detail you're getting. Okay, so just keep in mind though, it is a bit on the pricey side. Now for me personally, $250 for this set would have been perfect. $300 just seems a bit steep. Probably more expensive now, but I won't get into that here. But it's a pricey set, but you are getting the 4 minifigures, accessories, and it's just a fully detailed model. This is just detail. And it took me a few days to put this together, unless I count out all the breaks and stuff. So it took me roughly about 2 weeks, because I had other life obligations and activities I had to engage in. So this is something you want to take your time on. Okay, this is not for the faint of heart. This is a really good, advanced, challenging build. For my final score, and sadly I got to do this, it's like a 6.6. And the reason why is build quality. That's the only thing that struck this set down. It wasn't the lack of accessories, it wasn't that it's not a playable model. A lot of this stuff can fall off. This is meant to be a piece that's meant to be admired, like I had mentioned before. So if you're looking for a fully functioning playable model, this is it, but just be forewarned that some of the stuff can fall off. So I think a lot of people are going to get the set just to relive those Legend of Zelda days, and too, it's just a fun piece to look at. But if you're looking for a set that's really durable, this one is not it. So sadly, that's that's the only downside of this build that I can see is the build quality. But nonetheless, though, it's a nice, bright, colorful set. I'm still pleased with it. I just wish it was built a little more robust. But tell me what you think.